The next module in this chapter is all about comments. I understand that a lot of people will not know what comments are, while some of you, programmers from before in other languages, will have a very strong idea of what comments are. For the people that don't, a comment is a piece of English text placed within a program in order to make the program more readable and more understandable. A comment is completely ignored by the compiler. Let's see some examples of comments. Here is a simple C program. It's used to calculate the area of a circle if the user specifies the radius. There's nothing in this program that you haven't seen before. You might think this looks a little odd up here, pi being 3.14 and so on. Well, that's just like saying pi equals 6. Pi doesn't equal 6, but that's how you specify a decimal number as opposed to an integer. We're going to use doubles in this case as opposed to integers. In fact, we're going to use doubles and integers. We're going to have an integer radius and a double area and a double pi. So, obviously printf and scanf, do a little calculation, pi times radius, that does actually give us the area of a circle, and then print out the result. Okay, pretty straightforward. Let's just check that this actually does what we think it's going to do. It does compile. Please enter the radius, about 10. The area of the circle would be, well, 314 somethings, whatever unit the radius was in. So let's see if that's right. 10, so the radius squared would be 100, so roughly 3 and a bit times 100 is 314. Okay, so that's working fine. But this is all about comments. Let me just give myself a little bit more room on the screen. Okay, we've got some room on the screen. Let's put in some comments. Like I said, comments are designed to enhance the readability of the program, to explain things that aren't perhaps readily understandable. I'll give you an example of a comment. Just here before the area calculation, I'm going to insert a comment. / Oh, everything changed color. We'll come back to that. The area of a circle is pi times the radius squared, and so on. Now, that is for people that don't happen to know off the top of their heads the formula for the area of a circle. Thus, I believe I have enhanced the readability of my program by making the program a little bit more readable for people that are a little bit mathematically challenged. So, pi r squared. If you look at this, that is in fact radius times radius is radius squared. So let's look more closely at the comment. First of all, I want you to ignore the fact that the color of the comment is whatever it is, purple or dark blue or whatever, and I want you to ignore the fact that it's in italics. That is a function of the dev C++ development environment and has nothing to do with comments in general. I want you to notice how comments start and how comments end. Okay, / star is the start of a comment and * is the end of a comment, and everything in between is ignored by the compiler. It is quite okay to have that split on several lines, like this. That's also perfectly okay. It doesn't matter how much whitespace is in the comment, it will still work beautifully. Comments do not have to be on lines by themselves. I can say here, we need a lot of precision. And that comment is explaining why I've chosen to use a double for pi as opposed to a float, or perhaps even an integer. The point of the exercise is I wanted to show you that comments can just take up a small portion of a line. They do not have to take up a whole line, or they don't have to take up several lines. It's a very good idea to include a comment at the beginning of your program, either before or after the #include line, to explain what the program is actually going to do. I'll do that now. This is one style that you can have for this, and this is comment.c program. I'll just finish this in my own time. Hey presto, the comment is complete. Okay, so that's what a comment might look like at the beginning of a program. So to summarize, comments begin with /* and end with */. Comments can span multiple lines. Now, it is also possible to use new style comments in a C program. This is an ANSI C edition. They're called the C++ style because they were kind of invented when the C++ language was invented, but they've since been adopted by virtually every C compiler, and they've been made part of the standard ANSI C definition. And this is how new style comments look. They start with a / and they simply proceed to the end of the line. I will now show you that comment program redone using new style comments. I'll call it comment2.c. Here it is, comment2.c. Notice the forward double slashes or double forward slashes. This is the classic example here. The comment starts with these two slashes and proceeds to the end of the line, and there is nothing at the end of the line to designate that that's the end of the comment. The line ending itself is the end of the comment. Scroll down and you'll see this is another comment here, and that's about all there is to it. Here we are back in the original comment.c. I want to illustrate one final rule about comments. It is not possible to have a comment within a comment. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I'll make the example right here. Here is a comment within a comment. Okay, now I can certainly type it in, that's no problem, but when I compile it I'm going to get some errors. Let's have a look. Total errors 1. We did get an error. Parse error before /. Now what's happened here is it's actually got, the comment has started here, proceeds along. C knows nothing about comments starting inside other comments, so it just treats this as part of the original comment. This is not special. This begin comment section here is not special if it's already inside a comment. And proceeds along and says, right, there's the end of the comment. So that, let's do that again, that is the entire comment. Then it says, right, well this must be regular C code then. And it says, oh, hang on, there's something wrong here. We've got a close comment, but we weren't inside a comment in the first place, so that's an error. That's what I mean when I talk about nesting comments. It's not possible to put a comment within a comment. Please know that about C comments. Finally, before we end the module, I'll just get rid of this for you. Okay, so we're back to the way it's going to work. A comment is very useful for hiding some code from the compiler that you just want to temporarily remove, but code that you're planning to perhaps put back in later on. So we could say, alright, I don't want to print out the area of the circle just at this stage. So I comment out the line like that. Actually, it's probably better to comment out the line this way, because then the comments are much more easy to delete when you're finished with them. Now as you can see, this just becomes a comment. It's not actually a line of code whatsoever. Well, it is a line of code, but it's hidden from the compiler, so the compiler doesn't read it. So when you compile, no errors, and you run, please enter the radius, and you don't get any answer. You don't get that printf happening. Okay, so that is actually useful. It's particularly useful when you're debugging a program and you're trying to figure out what went wrong. So you would typically comment out various areas of your code until you found the bit that you'd commented out that caused the program to start working. I know that I'm not explaining that particularly well, but it's not important at this stage because I'm just trying to show you where comments might be used and certainly how to use them. Debugging is not our prime concern at this particular moment. So that's it for comments. Let's move on to the next module.